Cool. Welcome, David and John, and thank you for your time today. So the purpose of today's meeting is to discuss discriminatory behaviour made against David and to provide an overview of the team charter that we created for this project and also the codes of practice for workplace behaviour. So as a bit of background for this, Naomi Chang, the Human Resources Officer for the City of Rockingham, contacted me regarding a complaint of discrimination against David Foley, the site's supervisor, from you, John. So the discrimination includes comments about age, including old and granddad being used, and race based on a comment about David's accent being weird. The comments have caused distress to David and a feeling of isolation, which have impacted his ability to do his job. Would either of you like to add anything else to this before we move on?
Yeah, I mean, I have felt like very uneasy in my job recently. This has been going on not for too long, but it's been going long enough where it has impacted my work, like effectiveness, and even translated into my home, where my wife and we have conversations now. Even at home, things feel uneasy, but yeah, I think it has just escalated that much more than it should have been.
Thank you for sharing that, David. I appreciate you being honest. John, would you like to provide any feedback from your side?
Yeah, first thing I would like to apologize. Was not my intention to offend David. For me, it was more like a play. Now I understand like it was not like a good thing to do it. Yeah, sorry, so sorry about that.
Yeah, no, that's okay.
Thank you, John. I appreciate that, and I can see that David does too. So just moving through today's kind of discussion, I did want to touch on the team charter that we did create together at the beginning of the project, and just a couple of the core components which do relate to these behaviours and the reason that the behaviours are inappropriate based on those team charter components. So values and principles. One of our values was that we treat everyone with respect. So obviously that includes not making them feel uncomfortable or left out. That everyone has a responsibility to enforce values and principles and to follow and uphold organisational culture procedures. That includes laws and internal policies. And that we foster a fun, inclusive team environment void of inappropriate behaviour. So again, that's just about that respect as well. It does also include the conflict management process. So we provide constructive criticism only. So instead of name calling, we do have a mature conversation if we do have issues so that we can resolve them together. And that we do acknowledge and report issues as soon as possible, either directly to myself as the project manager or in a team environment if you're comfortable too. And I do have a little list of the resources here, but we will go through those at the end when we talk about an action plan after today. Any questions about those team charter components?
No,
No,
very
not.
sounding clear. I'm happy with
Yeah,
that.
thank you.
Excellent. Thank you both. And just for a little bit more information, I have included a few notes about the code of practice for workplace behaviour because I'm unaware if either of you were actually understood or knew that this existed. So a couple of the key points I wanted to go through about inappropriate workplace behaviour. The first one being workplace bullying. It's classed as repeated and unreasonable behaviour directed towards a worker or a group of workers that creates a risk to health and safety. So health and safety can be that psychosocial hazard of feeling left out, feeling unsafe to speak up, feeling unsafe to do your job well. So these comments do fit into that category. And harassment can involve physical, verbal or visual conduct, including offensive jokes or comments and verbal abuse or derogatory comments. So again, those comments around age and accent do also fit into the harassment scope in that code of practice. Additionally, the WA Public Sector Code of Ethics, which covers government workers in WA, it asks that, it actually outlines that employees must treat people fairly and respectfully and support diversity, inclusion and equity. So not only to treat people respectfully, but diversity can mean a lot of things. So gender, age, where somebody is from. Do either of you have any feedback or questions about those specific codes of practice or policies?
No, I think, I mean, at the end of the day, we're all human, So I think Yeah, no, I agree with everything there, to be honest.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. I'm aware now about how to behave in the workplace, and thank you for sharing the information. It was very clear.
Great, thanks, John. And just to confirm, you have apologised, but just based on this information, are you able to agree that the behaviours in the comments were classed as inappropriate?
Yes, I agree, totally agree.
Great, thank you. The second last thing I'd like to go through is just your roles and responsibilities at work moving forward. Obviously, you have your specific roles within the project, but just to be clear, David, yours is as a site supervisor, which means delivering the project's products at a certain quality within a specific timescale and cost, and to delegate tasks to the project employees. And for John, yours is to undertake work as delegated by the site supervisor, that being David. And for both of you and anyone else on site, to act safely and respectfully, to follow all policies and procedures, report issues and problems as soon as possible. You got any questions or feedback about those roles and responsibilities?
No, sounds good. Yeah, that's exactly what I do.
Yes, nothing for
Excellent.
me
And
as
you both
well.
feel you feel you can fulfill those moving forward after today?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah,
I
sure.
think we can
No
definitely
problems.
try and overcome this mishap and try and work together moving forward.
Yes, yeah, thank you.
Excellent.
Thank you, Jen.
Thank you both. So I have developed a small action plan, which I'll send you a copy of. We won't go through every detail, but the high-level details include for you, John, to provide an apology, which you have done today, and we appreciate that. Thank you. To undertake a mentorship with a senior employee beginning next shift. So we'll allocate someone on site who has more experience around these types of policies, procedures, and appropriate behaviours that we believe can help coach you through that. An inclusive and diversity training via an online provider, which will happen next week. We will pull you out of work and you can do that online. And then access to the City of Rockingham's free employee assistance program, should you like to use it, is always available to you as well. And I'll provide you that information. And for you, David, for you to immediately notify myself if any behaviours continue, and to access the City of Rockingham's free employee assistance program if you require, you are open to use that as well. And for all site employees, the action will be to undertake the same inclusion and diversity training as you, John. However, that will have 2 weeks to be able to get everybody through that one, and to revisit the team charter and make a fresh commitment to upholding the values within, which we'll do during a pre-start next week. For myself, I will monitor and review these actions for effectiveness and report the action plan to the project sponsor and HR manager. And I'll also conduct a weekly check-in with the both of you to see how you're going, to make sure everyone's feeling comfortable at work and safe. So do you both understand these actions, and do you feel that there's anything that I might have missed?
No, it's perfect.
No, yeah, understood. Yeah.
Excellent. I appreciate your understanding. And the very last thing for today, thank you for your time, is I'd really love to ask for some leadership style feedback if you're comfortable to provide it. So that feedback ideally would be on my leadership style and management of workplace relationships. Constructive or positive are both very welcome. So David, if you would please share first if you're happy to.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I think first of all, I can only say positive things. There's nothing that that I find constructive about your leadership style. I like the fact that you prioritize working on relationships within the team before moving forward. I think that's very important. But yeah, just like your the way you prioritize things, and also just your clear communication, I think are strong candidates for your leadership style. So thank you.
Great, thank you. I appreciate that. And John, are you comfortable to share?
Yes, sure. Yeah, thank you for the information that you shared. It was quite like informative and important for me, because sometimes you do things but you don't think about the consequences. And what I did, it was quite harmful for someone, for David. So appreciate your way to approach this and hear both sides. And yeah, I'm looking forward to do the training and change my behavior. Thank you.
Thank
Great,
you.
thank you so much. Thank you for your time. And that's the end of our session for today.